saw one great statistic before I came here today. There are more people learning English in China than in England. That's scale. So I just got back from Hong Kong and China. I heard about the 70s, the 80s, 90s. I can give you the last 20 minutes, basically. And when it comes to contemporary art, there really isn't one China. And I think that's what this show tells us also. Beijing is really the home of Chinese contemporary art. Lots of political pop art being done there. Lots of artists testing new freedoms, which is what artists do everywhere, not just in China, as we know. Shanghai is not as interested in that. Hong Kong remains the bridge to the West. It's an easy place to operate, as we were talking about last night. In West Kowloon in Hong Kong, they're about to embark on a $2.7 billion cultural center, which includes $300 million for acquisitions. David, try not to sigh, but it's all government funded. So how does Northeast Ohio get on this radar that we're talking about? You know, Mayor, you talked a little bit about it, but it can't just be about business. It can't be just about business, and I think that's the precursor to a lot of this. You need to find a relationship where your non-business interests also align, where you can generate some comfort level. You need to look for community. You need to look for commonality. When I say community, you know, community isn't geography anymore. The digital world shows us that. You can have community with China as long as you're working on a project that's something in which both parties are enthused and interested in. You know, the Knight Foundation is led by an ACRA guy, happens to be here today, our chairman, Rob Briggs. And we base our arts funding on a very simple premise, and that is that the arts bring people together, and they bridge diversity issues. Now, if there's ever two more diverse populations than China and the U.S., I haven't seen it, frankly. So that's why the arts become such a critical component to break down those barriers and to build context. As Mayor Pasquale said, we got to get to know each other, and you can only do that through culture. When I was in Shanghai, they had just had a show that just left there of Australian Aboriginal art. And 130,000 Chinese had gone to see a show about Australian Aboriginal art. It's not something that they had seen before. And more people in China saw it than in Australia. So I think that shows like that leverage interest on both sides of the Pacific. And while I was there, I felt like so much of what China knows about us, frankly, comes from bootleg pop culture DVDs. And so what the Cleveland Museum of Art is doing with this exchange, with Nanjing in particular, is it's opening the lines of communication that aren't all business, that create a more open relationship, and that promote cultural exchange. And it can't be done. We've heard a lot today about the U.S. and China. But when you go home today, how is that really going to impact your life using these big kind of countries? It's really about getting down on a personal basis. It's really about finding a way to connect on a personal basis. It doesn't happen because the U.S. and China on a global level decide to work together. It happens because somebody like Anita, with the support of the museum, reaches out and creates a bridge with the Nanjing Museum. What attaches people to place and what breaks down barriers is culture. The arts create this commonality of spirit. They create a sense of trust. And it's only with that sense of trust that you're going to create these business relationships. So I think that it's impossible to underestimate the value of these kinds of situations. And you've got to find them, not up here, but down here. You've got to find little ways to connect that aren't necessarily where you're trying to do all things for all